Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain you the costs and benefits of buying versus renting a house in India. Purchasing a home is often considered a landmark milestone in one's life. However, in India's rapidly evolving real estate landscape, it's crucial to make this major financial decision objectively rather than based on emotions alone. In this video, we'll break down the key factors to weigh when deciding whether to buy or continue renting in India. This includes an in-depth look at the upfront and ongoing costs of buying property in India, average rental yields and calculating your return on investment, the potential benefits and drawbacks of buying a house, the potential advantages and disadvantages of renting, recommendations for when buying starts to make the most financial sense, tips for setting aside emotions and looking at the numbers rationally. By understanding these objective costs, returns, trade-offs and best practices, you can determine if buying or renting is the smarter choice for your financial situation rather than relying on external pressure or personal aspirations. Let's dive in. The costs of buying a house in India. While buying a home is an emotional decision, it's critical to go in with eyes wide open about the substantial expenses involved beyond just the purchase price. Here are some of the key costs to plan for. Down payment. Most lenders require 20-30% of the home's value as a down payment. This means for a 50 lakh rupees property, 10 rupees 15 lakh needs to be paid up front. Legal fees. Additional buying costs include stamp duty, transfer fees, registration and lawyer charges. Stamp duty alone ranges from 4-7%. Mortgage fees. Taking a home loan involves fees for processing, prepayment, valuation and more. These can total 1-2% of the loan amount. Interest payments. Interest costs paid over the lifetime of the mortgage loan really add up. This is usually the buyer's single largest expense. Taxes. Property tax levied annually ranges from 0.52% depending on the municipal zone and city. Maintenance. For apartments, monthly maintenance fees are mandatory. For independent houses, upkeep like gardening and repairs add up. Renovations. Many buyers upgrade flooring, redo kitchens or bathrooms and paint, which adds to costs. The costs of renting a house in India. In contrast, the primary costs incurred when renting a home in India are security deposit. This refundable one-time payment to the landlord is usually equivalent of 10 months' rent. Brokerage fees. Rental brokers charge a fee of up to 1 month's rent, split between tenant and owner. Monthly rent. The recurring payment for occupying the property, averaging 3,500 rupees 4,000 per month nationally. Utilities. Electricity, water and cooking gas expenses are generally separate for rentals, paid by the tenant. Maintenance. Either split between tenant and landlord for apartments or covered fully by tenant for independent homes. Rental yield in India. Calculating your returns. Rental yield is a key metric to evaluate when considering investing in property for income versus renting. Here is how to calculate it. Gross rental yield equals annual rental income divided by total property value, x 100. For instance, if a 50 lakh rupees property is rented out for 30,000 rupees per month or 3.6 lakh rupees annually, the yield would be 3.6 lakh rupees divided by 50 lakh rupees, x 100 equals 7.2% gross rental yield. The average yields for residential real estate in India range from 2-5% based on city. Yields in the main metros of Delhi and Mumbai are around 2-3% but higher in Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad at 4-6%. Always compare rental yields to other investment avenues before purchasing property. A higher yield means a faster payback on your purchase costs through rental income. Pros of buying a house in India. Despite substantial upfront costs, home ownership in India does come with major long-term financial benefits. Appreciation. Properties in prime locations tend to gain value over decades, building significant equity for the owner. Tax savings. Homeowners can claim rebates for mortgage interest, property tax and principal repayment under sections 24, 80C and 80EE. Collateral. The property can be used as security for secured loans if additional capital is ever needed. Generational wealth. Real estate is often passed down within families as a legacy asset and store of value. Stable housing. Owning provides housing security and avoids unpredictable rent hikes or eviction fears. Customization. Buyers can renovate, upgrade or make structural changes not allowed in rentals. For the middle class, buying remains an important milestone and pillar of financial security. If purchased wisely, it can yield long-term returns beyond just housing. Cons of buying a house in India. However, along with benefits, becoming a homeowner in India also carries major drawbacks. High upfront costs. The large down payment and various buying costs make entry challenging, especially for first-timers. Ongoing expenses from mortgage payments to maintenance, taxes and insurance. The recurring costs strain budgets. Illiquid asset property is one of the most difficult assets to sell quickly in an emergency situation. Reduced mobility buying makes it much harder to relocate for career opportunities due to transaction costs. Market correction risks property prices can destabilize or even drop for extended periods as seen historically. Speculation risks investing based on expected appreciation rather than rental income carries risk of a bubble. Maintenance burdens. As the owner, you shoulder all maintenance issues, big and small. In inflated markets like Mumbai, prices climbing way ahead of incomes make buyers hesitant to stretch their budget to buy. Pros of renting in India. While buying gets most of the hype, renting a property in India comes with many financial positives. Lower upfront cost. Renters may only need to provide 1-2 months as security deposit to move in. Mobility renting allows easier relocation between jobs, cities and homes as needs change. Limited maintenance. Major repairs are the owner's responsibility. Renters also avoid spending time on yard work or home projects. Avoid bubble risk. Renting protects against overpaying if the housing market sees a correction. Potential cash savings. In some areas, monthly rents are lower than the costs of owning inclusive of mortgage, tax and maintenance fees. Flexibility. Renters can move after 12 months if they are dissatisfied, rather than being locked in for years selling a property. For many millennials, renting is seen as the smarter choice in expensive cities like Mumbai or Bangalore, where rising incomes struggle to keep pace with exorbitant real estate costs. Cons of renting in India. There are also some potential disadvantages to renting instead of buying. To note: no ownership gains. You don't build equity or benefit from property appreciation over time. Instability. Landlords may arbitrarily raise rents or refuse to renew leases, forcing you to move. Lack of control. Customization is limited and renters need approvals for changes. Negative perception. Some Indian families still view renting as lacking stability. Limited space. Developers favor smaller units for rental projects. Finding spacious yet affordable rentals can be difficult. Quality concerns. There is high variation in rental upkeep. Cheaper options often have maintenance issues. Bad landlords. Renters risk having landlords who won't fix problems quickly or maintain the property well. When you should consider buying a house in India. Given the many trade-offs, here are some general guidelines for when buying a home starts to make sense financially in India. You plan to stay put for 5+ years. This provides time to build equity and avoid transaction costs from moving soon. You have 20% minimum saved for a down payment. This allows better loan terms and keeps payments manageable. Monthly ownership costs will be under 30% of your income. This threshold ensures you can still afford other expenses comfortably. You have funds set aside for maintenance. Owning requires budgeting more for surprise repairs and upkeep costs. You want forced savings. Equity acts as a forced investment with mortgage principal repayment. You need space. Stability. For raising a family, owning provides room and predictability to put down roots. Overall, homeownership is best once your career, family plans and financial capability reach maturity. It provides stability but requires sacrifice and proper planning. My recommendation: weigh pros and cons objectively for your situation. At the end of the day, run the numbers and make the optimal rational decision for where you are financially now, not where you aspire to be later. Avoid getting swept up in fear of missing out. If current property prices stretch your budget too thin, be patient and disciplined. Continue renting and saving while waiting for the right property at the right price. Renting is never wasted money if it allows you to optimize spending in other areas. Don't let society or family pressure override sound financial judgment. Weigh the benefits and costs of buying objectively. Account for all expenses involved, expected rental returns in your area, and your career outlook. Seek trusted advice and carefully evaluate whether buying or renting makes the most sense for your situation currently. With the right analytical approach, you can make a prudent housing decision aligned with your financial goals. Stay tuned for more videos providing tips and things to look out for when buying your first home in India. Conclusion: deciding whether to buy or keep renting requires looking beyond emotions and holistically weighing your current financial resources and lifestyle needs. Carefully assess the costs, returns, benefits, and limitations of both options. Avoid getting swept up in fear of missing out or external pressure. Make a rational decision based on an objective analysis of what makes the most financial sense for your situation right now. Renting can provide more flexibility and affordability depending on your stage of life. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. Look at your income, career outlook, family plans, and down payment savings when deciding. Seek trusted advice and run the numbers. Don't rely on feelings alone. With the right analytic approach, you can determine whether buying or renting is the optimal choice to meet your housing needs and financial goals at this juncture. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more money tips. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.